Welcome back to the deep dive. You're here because you like to learn new things efficiently. And I think today's topic is really going to fascinate you. We're talking about Latin.
Latin. Yeah.
You know, it might seem like a language of the past, like something very distant.
Yeah, dead language.
Dead language, right. But we're going to kind of like peel back the layers today. And I think you're going to be surprised just how much it's still around us.
Right. It's influencing us
Influencing us
every day.
every day. So let's get into it. I mean, when we talk about Latin, we really have to start with ancient Rome. For centuries, this wasn't just any language. It was like the language. The language of power.
Law.
Administration.
Yeah.
Literature.
Literature.
Yeah.
Some of the greatest works, right?
Some of the greatest works of literature. I mean, it was really the foundation of a huge civilization.
I mean, think about it. It was the operating system for this vast, powerful empire.
Yeah.
And as Rome expanded, its language expanded with it, right?
Of course. Laying the groundwork for so many languages that we speak today.
Yeah. I mean, that's the really fascinating part to me, is that, maybe folks who are listening might not immediately think of this, but Latin is the ancestor to so many languages. I mean, Spanish, French, Italian, all those Romance languages, they come directly from Latin. But it's not even just them.
Right.
I mean, English has a lot of roots in Latin.
Huge influence on English, absolutely. And, it's not just random words here and there.
Right.
These Latin roots are, like, embedded deep in the way we think and speak.
Yeah.
Like, think about words like, innovate, style, excellence. These aren't just, borrowed terms, right?
They're ideas.
They reflect these deep concepts, vocabulary that Latin has kind of enriched the English language with.
It's amazing.
Over centuries.
Yeah. And it's almost like a hidden code.
Right.
In our everyday conversations.
Absolutely.
And, for a long time, Latin wasn't just for everyday use either. I mean, this was the language of scholars.
The church.
The smartest people in Europe.
The smartest people in Europe.
Right. For centuries, they relied on Latin.
Yeah.
Think about that. It was the lingua franca. Of intellectual life, religious discourse. Imagine scholars from different countries all coming together and being able to communicate, share ideas, because they have this common language of Latin.
Wow. That's incredible.
Right. So it created this unified intellectual community across Europe for centuries.
It's amazing. It really is amazing. And what's remarkable to me is that it hasn't totally disappeared. I mean, we still see it today.
Oh, absolutely.
In important fields.
Right. Certain disciplines, they still value Latin today for its precision and universality, like law, for instance.
Oh, law is a great example.
So many legal terms have their roots in Latin.
Yeah.
And medicine, too, right?
Yeah.
Anatomical names.
So we're all on the same page.
Exactly. Consistent language worldwide.
Yeah.
And in science, especially biology. Think about classification of species. Right. Relies heavily on Latin.
I mean, think about Homo sapiens.
Exactly.
Right? That gives us that universal understanding. It transcends language barriers today.
Absolutely.
It's amazing. And it's not just in those really, specialized fields. I mean, we see Latin phrases just pop up.
Every day.
In our pop culture.
In our culture.
Yeah.
Right. Phrases like, carpe diem.
Seize the day.
Seize the day.
Yeah.
Right. Or vedi vidi vici.
I came, I saw, I conquered.
I came, I saw, I conquered. They still resonate, right?
Yeah.
They offer this really concise way of expressing these enduring ideas.
So true. And what I think is really cool is that it's not just about memorizing old words.
No.
Studying Latin can really give you a deeper understanding of history, the foundation of literature, and even the structure of language itself.
You're understanding the blueprint of so many modern languages.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Amazing.
And what's really insightful is that, understanding those Latin roots can unlock nuances in our modern vocabulary. It can make you a better, analytical thinker.
Yeah.
It's about seeing the connections between seemingly different words and concepts.
So to kind of wrap things up here, I think the takeaways are pretty clear.
Yeah.
Latin was foundational
Yeah.
to Western civilization.
Absolutely.
Its influence on our languages is huge. It was the language of scholarship for ages.
Yeah.
And it still plays a role today.
Absolutely.
In law, medicine, science.
Still very much alive.
Yeah, it's much more alive, I think, than a lot of people give it credit for.
Its legacy is deeply ingrained in the way we think and communicate today.
It really is. So here's something I think for everyone listening to think about next time you're reading.
Right.
Or you're just talking. Try to spot some of those Latin roots.
Right. Lurking under the surface.
Lurking beneath the surface, I bet you'll be surprised how often they pop up.
I think so, too.
It's really a fascinating way to kind of connect with the past
Absolutely.
in our daily lives.
In your everyday life.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening.